roll the union on. Go with me to that land where I'm bound. Come go with me to that land. Come go with me to that land. Come go with me to that land where I'm bound. Honor labor in that land. Honor labor in that land. Honor labor in that land where I'm bound. Honor labor in that land. Honor labor in that land. Honor labor in that land where I'm bound.
I'm Howie Gelman. I work at KQED Radio. I'm a engineer there on the radio station, and I'm part of NABET and have been working there for 30-something years. And we have these negotiations that are going on now that are kind of like not like we've ever had before. They hired a new person, and she's really trying to break the union. They're trying to do the shared jurisdiction, which in our mind is another word for trying to just get people who are unqualified and non-jurisdictional to work out jobs. And then if people don't come into work that day, there's no certainty they're going to hire union people to replace them. So
Is that illegal under the contract?
The current contract, yes, they have to hire union people. But they're negotiating a new contract, and that's one of the things they're requesting. So we are saying no, and we're here to remind the company that we're going to let everybody know, including all the KQED members and sympathizers, that everybody should expect the company to be fair with their workers who basically built the company up to what it is today.
And they recently sold some bandwidth for $96 million. Is this a financial issue for them? I mean, your contract demands?
Yeah, I think it was 95, but what's $1 million between friends? But the company in negotiations have never said that it's a financial issue. They've never suggested that the reason for wanting to make these changes is for purposes of money. They always talk about this new age flexibility and transformational change and stuff like that. And I actually think it's true. It's not about the money. I think they just really want to disregard the needs and they want to disrespect the workers. Without the union, we have no certainty of getting fair working conditions, fair wages, and fair recourse.
And I mean, there used to be a labor representative on the board of directors of the KQED Board. It gets public money. Is there a labor representative on the board now?
We had a labor representative on the board of directors because KQED was proud to be either the only or one of the very few public broadcasters that had an elected board. But they got rid of that in what I thought was a kind of unseemly way. And now all the people who run for the board are usually people, or I think are always people that have been nominated by the board. So they're basically handpicked. And I can't say that they're all bad or good, but they certainly are not there to represent labor.
And there have been other actions at KQED, strikes at one time. Do you think that that's going to happen again?
It's critical. It is a critical juncture. I mean, I hate sounding like a politician, but I don't know if we're going to have a strike. I really think the company should come to their senses and just do whatever's fair. And I think the stuff that the union is asking is just for very fair, basically a continuance of what we've had. And I don't think the company really wants to have a strike, and I don't know any union members that want to have a strike. So I'd like to say I'm hoping that there's not going to be a strike.
Okay, thank you. What can people do who want to support you?
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
What can people do who want to support you?
I think they should write letters to John Boland, who's the president. That's Boland at KQED, and that's in San Francisco. And just tell them that they want him to tell his negotiating committee to respect their workers and to bargain in good faith.
I do on-call for facilities, so building maintenance or custodial duties, and event setup if need be too.
What's your name?
Jonathan. I just support the union. They take care of me, and it's been a great opportunity to work here, and it's basically because of the union. So, hey, here for everyone else.
So I'm Kerry Biggs-Adams. I'm a member of NABET CWA. I'm bargaining the contract at KQED. I'm business representative for the local. And sadly, KQED, the station that I grew up with here in San Francisco, is union busting. So we're here today to bring it to the attention of the people who support the station that union busting is going on, and ask them to ask management to get back to the table and stop union busting.
How are they union busting?
They're proposing to move work from the staff people who have done this work for over 60 years to non-union people that they have in the building. They want to move the work to the internet rather than have it be high broadcast quality work, and have that work done by people who they don't have join the union.
And do they say that they want to do that for financial reasons? What are the justification for that?
They say it's financial, and or that they want to open up the work to the whole community. Well, these are jobs. This is not a volunteer shift where you make television one day a week. We want to actually be there making high quality broadcast programs. Right now, KQED only makes 1 half-hour television show a week and 11 or 12 episodes of Check Please, which is a great show, but that's not a lot of work, and that's not much local content.
It has a massive budget, one of the biggest budgets of a public television station in the United States. Why aren't they doing more live programming and making this more of a community station?
And more local programming here in the Bay Area that's made here. They'd rather put their name on a show, produced someplace else in the country, and say that was KQED product. It's not made here. It's not made by their employees. It's not made by people in the Bay Area.
Now, the federal government is talking about taking away money from PBS and public broadcasting, and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Where do you think about where public broadcasting stands at this point?
Well, they're definitely at risk. Once again, this happened in the last Republican administrations, and we fought it back then. But what we're facing now is that they want to cut about 9% of KQED's budget. KQED can make that up. When you go to Alaska Public Broadcasting, or Appalachia, or out down in Indian country, that just means there will be no public broadcasting there anymore. That is, their entire budget comes from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. It's a drip in the amount of money that this man wants to increase in the military budget.
And there is no labor programming on KQED or PBS, yet it should represent labor in the community. I mean, are you surprised by that, about what's happened with public broadcasting in the United States?
I'm not surprised anymore, because I've watched it happen step by step, and that's the sad part. Yes, they've taken away really cutting-edge broadcasting and local issues broadcasting, and they've turned it into something that's very middle-of-the-road, non-offensive, don't upset a Republican no matter what you do.
And the whole issue of public broadcasting, I mean, the board is not publicly elected. Who is running KQED and public broadcasting at this point?
Well, they are becoming more and more corporate, and you can tell. That's why it's not very public, not very open. They only have board meetings certain times of the year. Some of them aren't in the Bay, in San Francisco. They're in San Jose at the top of a private club. Totally accessible. It's the kind of thing you'd expect from a corporate board, right? Unfortunately, John Boland, who's the CEO, does not come in public broadcasting or in serving the community. And that's when you get this kind of programming that's not local.
Well, there's so many issues: housing, immigration, education, what's happening in California. Are they really being covered properly by public broadcasting in California?
It's amazing. They are being covered on the radio, and KQED radio has #1 ratings because they're covering those things. How about sea level rise? You know, if we're all going to have to move to a top of a hill or out of the Bay Area, we ought to be talking about that and dealing with those issues, which we know clearly are not going to be dealt with from Washington.
And what can people do who want to support the employees, NABET 51 employees at KQED?
What they can do is call KQED, ask to speak to CEO John Boland, and tell him, let's get bargaining, stop the union busting.
And do you think they're going to continue to take a hard line against the union?
I think they were willing to do it when it was secret and they could get away with it. I think the more daylight that they get on this, the less they're going to be willing to stand up to the people who give them money.
I'm Rick Santangelo. I work as a TV engineer at KQED. And right now what we're trying to do is reach out to the people that support KQED who are here at this event. And
What is the event today?
The event is called Taste and Sip. It's about Check Please, and it's all the vendors from all the restaurants in the Bay Area that have been featured on Check Please. And so right now what's happening is we're trying to let people know that we're in a contract negotiation that's not going very well. They're trying to replace us with non-union workers to do the same work that we do, video production. Except they put it on the web, and so they figure they don't need us to do that work. They're going to get others to do that work instead of us. So we're trying to say we just want a fair contract. So we're reaching out to these people to let them know, to kind of try to shake the trees a bit and let management know that we're not going to stand for losing our work to non-union people.
They say there's a financial, they want to save money. What are their justification for that? I mean,
Well, they can hire people at will, right? So they can fire them whenever they want.
gig economy.
And they can pay them less. And I understand hiring younger people and paying them less, but we have union scales where we can hire people at bottom scale in the union, and they can work their way up. But here, there's no rules. So especially on the internet, there's no rules. So they hire people at a lower pay, and they don't really have a chance to really work their way up. So we don't really think that's fair to them.
Are you prepared to go on strike?
We have taken a strike vote. That means that we have been authorized to call strike if we need to. We don't really want to, and I don't think management wants to, but you never know. If we have to, we will.
Healthcare for all in that land. Healthcare for all in that land. Healthcare for all in that land. Where I'm bound. Union contracts in that land. Union contracts in that land.